Hey guys, hey, this is Anne Marie, the Anti-HR, HR lady, and I just have a couple thoughts I want to share with you guys. And the first thing I want to say is your job is not a prison. A lot of the videos I make are inspired by the discovery calls that I have with clients and potential clients who come to me, and all these people are employees at different companies. Some of them are even at companies outside the US, but most of them are employed inside the United States. And, as we are heading into a regime change in the United States of America on January 20th, people are calling me, they're telling me about things they're experiencing in their workplaces. And I had a conversation with someone recently, and, I could hear the fear and trepidation in her voice as she talked about her job and how unhappy she was. But she kept talking about all the reasons why she had to stay there. And I had to remind her that she didn't need to stay there. Your job is not a prison, right? She wanted advice about how to leave the situation she was in. And I gave her advice. But the gist of the advice I want to share with all of you, because I think it's important, especially now, to remember that your job is not a prison, that you get to choose to be there. Just like your employer is at will, so are you. If you are in an environment that you feel is harming you, it is your responsibility to leave. And you don't need to ask their permission. Now, you can give them notice as a courtesy, but never feel that you have to give notice if you feel that by giving notice, harm may come to you, whether it's mental harm, professional harm, or otherwise, right? If you are working for an employer that you observe that when people quit, the employer will often turn around and try to fire them after the fact. And believe it or not, there are employers that do that kind of thing. I have a very close friend who once told me she put in notice at a job, and then a week later, her boss tried to fire her. And the only reason he didn't get to do it, that they were both lawyers, okay? And she knew how to assert her rights. But after she had resigned her job, this fool tried to turn around and fire her after the fact. So these are things that when people are petty and simple-minded, you would be surprised at things that they may try to do. So if you don't feel it's safe to give 2 weeks notice to a job, if you feel that you are in an environment where it is in your interest to just leave, here's what I think you should do and how I suggest that you do it. Always be strategic. Always have your professional well-being top of mind, as well as your mental and physical well-being, because what happens up here eventually impacts what happens here, okay? So if you feel like you are in an environment that you need to get out of because of the harm it is causing you mentally, and you feel that going and just putting 2 weeks notice in could either result in your immediate termination or other types of retaliation that would be harmful for you, you can just quit. You can write a letter of resignation, and you can tender your resignation effective immediately. But what I recommend is that you carefully state in that letter why you chose not to give 2 weeks notice. And if it is because of the toxic, hostile work environment, if it is because of bullying and mistreatment by your manager, put it in there. Put it in the letter. Don't just up and disappear and let them claim that you abandoned your job and that you didn't give notice, even though you don't have to, because you're at will. If you're an at will employee, you don't have to and they don't have to. And even if you're not at will, there is no law in the books that says that you have to give your employer notice, okay? If anyone knows of such a law, I would love them to drop it in the comments, all right? So it is a professional courtesy to give notice. But like I've said in videos in the past, I know of no professional courtesy where employers have to give you notice. Now, some of them may let people know they're going to close down and give them severance, but a lot of them close down and do no such thing. So do not feel that you have any moral obligation to give an employer notice, but do take into consideration what the market is that you're working in, whether or not there could be impact to your professional reputation if you do what you're doing, and how you will deal with that if you believe that despite that, you must leave without notice. But the most important thing that I would recommend that you do is that you memorialize in your letter of resignation why you have chosen to resign effective immediately rather than giving 2 weeks notice. But do not feel that you have to stay in an environment that is harmful to you. Do not feel that you are bound by anything your employer might write in their manual about you giving 2 weeks notice. Do not feel that you have to do that, because you do not. Just like they can fire you at any time without notice, you can leave at any time without notice. Do I recommend that you do that in the best circumstances? No. But if you are in bad circumstances, then you have to put yourself first. Never put an employer up before what is in your best mental and physical and professional interest. These people are not your family, they are not your friend, and they don't care about you at the end of the day. They care about what you can do for them so that they can make money, so that they can deliver whatever service they need to deliver to make money. It is a transactional relationship. Always remember that. You owe them what my mother always told me was a hard day's work for a good day's pay. Nothing more, nothing less. Those people are not your friends. They're not your family. Do not put them ahead of what is best for you. Your job is not a prison. If you need to get out, do so, and do so expeditiously. And as I always try to tell you, and if they break the law, and that's the reason you have to leave, leave, but not without your coins. This is Anne Marie, the anti-HR HR lady, reminding you that HR is not your enemy, but they're definitely not your friend. I am. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.